Dear friends, greetings from Bihar state, India. And I thank God for this opportunity to share with you some of the things that I have learned regarding the unreached people groups of India. Today we are going to look at the majority people of India. The topic is prioritizing the overlooked majority people of India. Understanding the backward class and the other backward class, BC, OBC people groups in India. As introduction, I wanted to affirm that the Indian history confirms the people group concept is viable and effective strategy for bringing the majority people of South Asia to Christ. And it is recorded that 80% of the Protestant Christians and 50% of the Catholic Christians in India have come to Christ through people movements. And therefore, people group concept is the right strategy for reaching the majority people of India. Reaching BC, OBC, were also called Shudra. The Hindu caste system of people group is very strategic for the evangelization of India. Unfortunately, in the past, the church in India has not seriously considered reaching the BC and OBC people groups. And if we look at the history, majority of the missionaries, first they thought of reaching the high caste people who are very minority. And when they failed, they immediately went to the Dalits, the outcast. And they ignored the middle caste. They are characterized by Hindu caste system between the high caste and the outcast. And therefore, I call them middle caste. And that is a challenge that somehow in the past Indian history, they were left out. And therefore, today, we have to prioritize the left out majority people of India. The Constitution of India gives the classification. According to that classification, the first group is called the forward class, FC, high caste, 15%. Then comes the backward class and the backward class, BC, OBC, 57%. This is our concern, the majority people. Then comes a scheduled caste, 18%, scheduled tribe, 10%. So when we look at this, the BC, OBC are more than 50%. And they are the majority people of India according to the Indian Constitution. Now coming to reaching the BC, OBC with the gospel, I understand that it's very crucial for the evangelization of India. If at all we are concerned to reach the whole of India, we cannot ignore BC, OBC people groups. And I am going to present to you, there are 10 reasons why we should give priority to the reaching of the BC and OBC people groups. First of all, because of their numbers, population, they are recognized by the government of India that they are about 57 to 60% of the total population. And even the Bihar state has a 63%. In the past, this percentage was not considered authentic, so people were ignoring. And the majority people, the BC, OBC, they were subjected under the high caste people for many years. And in all the occupations, in all the different walks of life, the minority high caste people were ruling and the BC, OBC were under them. And even in the election, the BC, OBC people were not properly represented Therefore, the minority high caste people were ruling the politics in every field of a business, like a movie world, sports world, everywhere. Even today, majority of them are the high caste people who are a minority, about like 15%. So in the recent years, there is an awakening among the BC OBC people group that we are the majority of India, but we are not ruling. Somebody else is ruling. So in the last 30 years, there is an awakening, social awakening, political awakening, and now they want to assert that we are the people to rule India. So this awakening is very important for the evangelization of India. We have not seriously considered in the past. We have not given priority to these people groups. And so today, my burden is to see that Indian church should awake as people groups are asserting that then we are the majority people of India. Also, the Indian church forget this fact. We also should prioritize our evangelization. And therefore, this is the right time to change our focus from the minorities to the majority population of India. Now, the second important factor is they are politically powerful. As I said in the last 30, 40 years, now slowly they are asserting that we have the vote bank. If we give our votes to our leaders, we will be able to rule. So that's the way. Now, most of our political leaders in India, especially in North India, they all come from BC, OBC people group. And many of the chief ministers, governors, and in many of the political leaders, they make the noise, they make the voice that we are the people to rule India. And they have the political powers in several states of India. And if that continues, this people group, they are going to be the future rulers of India. They are going to control the politics. But now we have to understand they are still not fully in power. If we don't reach them while they are not fully in power, we may not be able to reach them once they become more powerful. This always happens. And today, the minority leaders, the caste people are ruling India, and the majority people are asserting they are slowly coming to the power. And now this is the right time. If we fail now in the next 10, 20 years, they all are going to be in power and they may not respond to the gospel later. Now, that's the challenge. Second is they are economically sound and stable. They are not coming to the church for social benefits. This is very important. They are not like the Dalits. They don't need our social programs. And they are economically sound and stable. And therefore, when they come to the church, will become indigenously supported. And that's very important. Third, they are not socially oppressed as the Dalits. And therefore, they have the freedom to choose their religion. In the society, the Dalits are oppressed, the tribals are oppressed, but not the BC, OBC category people. Because of their numbers, and they are socially, because they are not oppressed, they have the freedom to choose any religion. And they become Christians, they are not oppressed, they are not persecuted. And that's a very important point, especially now as we have the persecution everywhere coming up. We have to understand that they don't face opposition from the high caste Hindus. And because they are in majority in every village, and when they come to Christ, their own people will stand with them and they will not be persecuted by the high caste people who are now persecuting Christians in many of the states in North India. And therefore, if we reach the majority people, They will support the church. They will see that they have Christians are not persecuted. Next reason, they are taking the place of the high caste Brahmins in the social status. This social change makes them to seek for a non-Brahmanical religion. Christian faith comes as an alternative to their choice. Very important, because once they reject the Brahmanism, they are rejecting Hinduism, and they want to see a social change. More than the religion, it's a social change. And once they reject the Brahmanical religion, Christian faith becomes as an alternative to their choice. So this is an important thing that we have to consider. And it's happening in some of the states, how they are willing to look at Christianity as an alternative religion. They are not Orthodox Hindus. Their religion is popular Hinduism. Therefore, they are open to the gospel. Hinduism is not the same as we understand, especially the Westerners look at Hinduism not as a one religion. There is a great difference between Orthodox Hinduism and popular Hinduism. Popular Hinduism, the people's choice. It is a mixture of Orthodox, but also animistic, and it's a daily religion, day-to-day religion, based on the daily problems and challenges. And therefore, even though there are many festivals, rituals, end of the day, they will go to the witch doctor. They will still believe in animistic faith, and they are very open to the gospel. And therefore, today we have to see all Hindus are not the same. All Hindus are not the Orthodox Hindus. The majority of the Hindus in India, they are popular Hindus. And unfortunately, the popular Hinduism is not taught everywhere. Everybody thinks everybody is a Hindu in India. No. Popular Hindus are ordinary people. Ordinary Hindus, they are very open to the gospel. They follow witchcraft, sorcery. They believe in power encounters. And when we understand popular Hinduism, we can reach the BC, OBC people. And the OBC people, they do not want to identify as part of the Orthodox Hinduism, seeking for a new identity as a caste group, not as a Hindu religious group. This social awakening is very important. They do not want to be identified as part of the minority Orthodox Hinduism. They want to say they are by the name of the caste. We are Yadav. We are, each one have a Kushwaras. We are Kailis. We are Kambolis. Each one identify as a social caste group, not as a Hindu religious group. This social awakening is very important. When they come to Christianity, they come not as a converted Hindu, but they are coming for a social identification. And they come to Christ. They may be still Yadavs, but they are also Christians because they identify as a social group, not as a Hindu group. This kind of sociological understanding is very important. They are responding to the gospel through alternative to Hinduism. And there are not there with too many religious rituals demanded by the Brahmin. If you know that Hinduism controlled by the Brahmins, they bring a lot of rituals, demands. Almost every day there is a ritual, and it is binding the society. And the busy OPC people, they are uncomfortable. They don't want the Brahmin priest to dictate, do this on Monday, don't do this on Tuesday. So they want to come out of this binding. And when they come out of There's Hindu rituals. The what is alternative? Christianity can be considered as an alternative because we don't have many rituals and demands. The faith, Christian faith is embracing them as they are, giving them peace and joy. And so that's the way they respond to the gospel. And you and younger generation of have open mind and positive attitude towards other non-Hindu religions. You have to understand the younger generation today. They don't have any problem of the past history. Many of them, they do not know the past history. They look at today Christianity, which is having the best hospital, best schools, best education, and how the Christians are serving the people. So they don't look at different way. So they are open mind. They are very positive towards other non-Hindu religions, including Christianity. And they don't consider Christian faith as a foreign religion. Very important because many of the BC, OBC people group, their children are in the foreign country now. They are in the US and UK. And many of them have never seen a white man ruling over them. So they are the new generation, never saw a white man ruling like a British rule, or the missionary preaching the Christian gospel. They have seen only the Biharis, they only see the South Indians preaching. So Christian faith is accepted as a local and a national religion by majority of them. This kind of situation is a positive sign, positive factor why today many of the people are receptive to the gospel. And finally, God's Kairos time for these majority people of India. Therefore, they are receptive to the gospel. We all know the promise that they are part of the end time harvest. As the Lord said, this gospel of the kingdom is the whole world as a testimony to all nations, all people groups, and then end will come. We believe BCOBC provide the end time harvest and they are all waiting. And therefore, the Indian church prioritizes our efforts. Some suggestions way forward. First of all, understanding the BC, OBC people groups, and especially to create an awareness among church and mission leaders. This is very important. This has to be emphasized again and again. We have to teach our people, help them to understand who are the BC, OBC, the majority of people in India. Section field research and publishing profiles is needed. We are thankful to God for the Darshan project, but in every state in India, we have to do our own field research and we have to have our own people group profiles more clear, more updated, so that our people will have the right information to reach them. Teaching popular Hinduism is very important. Teaching major religion as Hinduism is not enough. We have to focus on what is popular Hinduism, what is the Hindu faith of the BC, OBC people. And they are not Orthodox Hindus. They are popular Hindus. And therefore, in all our Bible colleges, we have to emphasize popular Hinduism. We must have special materials about their faith, what is popular Hinduism. And number 4, Indian history and anthropology should be taught as part of mission studies. Indian history is very important because that is the base on which we understand who are the BC, OBC people group. Again, anthropology should be taught so that we understand who are these people group, what is their background, what is their occupations, and how. So anthropological tools have to be developed to do the research of the BC and OBC. and Indian history and anthropology thought. Finally, we have to focus on church planting movement and not just bringing reaching individuals because of the numbers. We want to reach the Yadavs and the Kurmis and Koiris and all these people are in millions. Unless we reach them as a movement, we will never reach them in our lifetime. We should not be satisfied with 10 and 20 and 50 and 100, but we have to go for hundreds and thousands of people. For that, we have to develop a church planting movement and we have to teach our people so that they will not be focused on individuals. They will focus on families and communities and joint families and the whole village. And that's the way God worked in the 18th and 19th centuries. And the same Holy Spirit wants to work again, once again in India, bringing thousands and thousands of people from BC and OBC people group. As I said in the beginning, 80% of all the Christians in the Protestant church have come to Christ through church planting movement. And that's the way God wants to do it again. And that's my prayer. That's my request that as we look at the priority of reaching the BC OBC, we have to pray and mobilize and we have to look for church planting movements to take place. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm sure we have some questions and answers time, and I'll be open to respond to your questions. Thank you.